Well, welcome back to Chamber Chat. I'm Jeff Karr, founder of the Veteran Discount Guide and Camdenton Area Chamber Board member. Pleasure to be back with you for another edition of Chamber Chat. Cloke alongside of us here, Executive Director of the Camdenton Area Chamber of Commerce. How's your summer going, Casey?
It's going great, with the exception of my first summer sunburn, but I'm in recovery mode now, so all is well.
Aloe. That's what
That's
little
right.
aloe. That's what you need to do. Busy time of year here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Super excited about our guests today. Let's talk a little bit about what we've got coming up and what we're going to sort of wrap things up with. We're going to talk safe water. We're going to talk shootout. You've been busy and you've got us some great guests coming up. Let's talk a little bit about what this month's podcast is going to be about.
Yes. So summer in Lake of the Ozarks, one particular event that comes top of mind among many others. We have a lot of great events, but this one in particular is the Shootout. And so really excited for this month's podcast episode and being able to welcome Leah Martin, the executive director of the Shootout organization. She's going to highlight, we know of all, there's a boat race, there's a treasure hunt, there's a street party, there's a golf tournament, there's a mini shootout there. There's so much tied to this event. And, as a local and as a business member, we might be familiar with those various events. But what I think is important that we're not very familiar with, or unless our business is directly impacted, is the community impact that this event brings. And so we invited Leah to join us and kind of just share a little bit more of the in-depth behind the scenes, like demographic information about Shootout, maybe a little bit about the teams, the racers, and then the tourists that it draws to Lake of the Ozarks and what it does for our local economy. The Shootout is such a great event. I've been involved with it for over a decade now, volunteering behind the scenes on whether it was Wishing on a Ride events from years ago or doing traffic control. I've done that. I worked recently the last few years. I've done one of the poker run stations. It's always a blast. They do it's a well-organized machine. And I will say from the chamber standpoint, we plan a lot of various community events as well. And there has been several facets I've been able to kind of copy from the success that they have had with the Shootout. So really excited to have Leah Martin on today. And then our sponsor for this month's podcast is Polylift. And we're going to learn how these two correlate so well. Polylift has been heavily involved in the Shootout for I don't know how long, to be quite honest.
We'll find out. That'll be one of the questions we ask. How about that?
That's right. So this episode really is focused on summer and the Shootout and Lake of the Ozarks and all the greatness we have.
Well, we're excited about Shootout. It's been something I've been involved with since way back. I was at Shooters 21, calling the race back in the day. Yeah, I've got a few Shootout stories myself. It's been a big part of the Lake of the Ozarks, and we're excited to talk more about that. We're going to come back to you in just a little bit. We've got more to talk about stuff that's going on in the summer tied into the chamber, but you disappear. We're going to bring Leah Martin in to talk more about the Shootout. Thanks, Casey. All right. Hi, Leah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I could not be better. Yeah, I was talking to Casey about the history of the Shootout. It's a big part of the Lake of the Ozarks. From my recollection, my history, I was told that it was a couple of people in bass boats that wanted to see who had the fastest bass boat at the Lake of the Ozarks. And next thing you know, it's a worldwide event here at the lake. And for those that aren't familiar, give us your history and your background on the Shootout and why it's such an important part of the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, so the Shootout started, just as you said, I didn't know it was bass boats. I just know two boat owners who said my boat's faster and the other one said no, my boat's faster. And then one said I have a radar gun to prove it. So that's how you started. And the first Top Gun was actually Randy Sozum with MTI. And I think that was 101 miles an hour. And I think he was in a Victory. It wasn't in an MTI. And so that was the first Top Gun. And, we've since in 37 years doubled that speed at 221 miles an hour. So, and on the 1 mile course would have been 244. So speeds have came a long way than 1989. But the background was the Lake Rescue Shootout. And so that's how it started. It was started by firefighters. And 37 years ago, the departments largely weren't paid at Lake of the Ozarks. There was a few, maybe so few positions, but a lot were volunteer. And so at that time, that was how they raised money. So they would literally go sell ads in the guide, and then whatever ads that they sold, that's what went back to the fire departments. And I think the most they had raised there was maybe 90,000 annually. And so, we've changed that a little bit over time. Last year we gave away 730,000. So our goal is $1 million this year. We have a big goal. We'll see if we hit that, but it is still so as it started from the Lake Rescue Shootout and changed over time. There was the Lieutenant Governor's Cup in the 90s, and then Lake of the Ozarks Shootout. And I noticed, Shootout, if you look at these old guides, some say shoot out, 2 words. Some say shootout with a hyphen. Some say shootout altogether. I'm like, what happened? Like, how did we? So now we have shootout altogether. I don't know. And it is Lieutenant Governor's Cup again. And so we're just super excited to, where we're at now. So we started as like Rescue Shootout and was at Shooters 21 until 2007. In 2008, the race moved to the 34 mile marker. And then it is back at the 19 mile marker into the Grand Glaze Arm this year. And so at that time, when the fire departments had it, it was, it went from the fire departments who manned it and 100% controlled the event, did all the things, to volunteers. So the 501c3 that is currently active and still to this day it's all volunteer driven. So we have 46 organizations that we support as of this year. It was 43 last year. We always add a few more each year. And those organizations volunteer their time. And so last year we had just under 1,000 volunteers and 13,000 volunteer hours. And at the end of the day, the bills are paid. It's not like, hey, Leah Martin or the board of directors says we like this charity so they get X amount of dollars. It's you, Jeff, say I want to volunteer 5 hours on the Saturday. And I get to pick from those list of 46 charities where my hours go. And then once the bills are totaled, then we say we have 730,000 left and 13,000 volunteer hours. And that becomes the hourly wage. And then that's then paid back to the charities based on that. So it's very fair and equitable. And it's a huge part of the community. So not only does it drive millions of dollars in revenue, for the lake during that week. It's the biggest event at Lake of the Ozarks, but also for what it does for the charities. It's a huge part of their budgets. I mean, some of the small rural departments, fire departments still, we are 65-75% of their budget, the money they earn from the shootout. So
incredible. Leah Martin, Shootout Executive Director, with us here on Chamber Chat. We're talking Shootout 2025. Our third location, I guess, is where we're at, right? Is that right? Is that how it works? One of the things I wanted to ask you is for those folks that are in business here at the Lake of the Ozarks, this is a big tourist push. People come from all over for this event. I don't think anybody knew where Karr was until a few years ago, until we had a boat go well over 200 miles an hour. Talk a little bit about the impact of tourism and businesses here at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I would say again, we are probably the largest event at Lake of the Ozarks now. And last year during the street party, we did ID checks, and there was like 15 countries that were represented. Wow. From Australia. And there was a gentleman in Australia who tapped on my golf cart because he saw me and said, hey, I want to sponsor the event. And they're new sponsors this year. They were here for the event, and they manufacture a part that goes into a boat, to Canada, to everywhere, to our team from Norway that's battling Norway. And so, we really have people from not just Missouri and the states that surround Missouri. They come from everywhere. I would say about 90% of our participants who actually race are not from Missouri. And probably 75% of the poker run attendees. So, I have the ability to see that based on registrations, are not from the lake. Maybe even 85% are not from Missouri, or have second homes here. It's people that are coming in for this event. So it's a huge revenue. There's lots of heads in beds, lots of, restaurants. And, if you're going anywhere, you better have a reservation that week.
Be ready. Well, let's talk a little bit about the role that local businesses play. We're going to be checking in with Polylift, and I know they're a big part of the shootout. Let's talk a little bit about that relationship with local businesses and how businesses can get involved in the shootout, if not this year, then coming up in 26.
Yeah, so our local partnerships are what make the shootout work, right? Whether it's the local dock company that helps set our docks, and we just partner with Dockworks, who just set the entire offshore race. It's not just the shootout; we have the offshore race as well. And so, they set the course to the local business who helps us provide lunch and all the bars and restaurants on the strip that are providing food for volunteers, or Elite Roofing, who brings in water for the street party for all the vendors. I mean, it's just so much of an impact that people don't think about. We have lots of local sponsors that not only give up their time and their energy and their dollars, but they also are just out there supporting the event with that time. And so we're just so thankful for that. There's opportunities, whether it be the shootout guide, a digital footprint to, show support. We have a large footprint. We have 62,000 followers as of yesterday on our Facebook page. And so we have a good digital footprint and are able to help promote and highlight local businesses that way and partner together on sponsors. But also just by being, I know that we put a lot of pressure on every business at the lake because there's so many people here in town. And so those every person that's serving and helping fix boats and the marinas and, the state park, I mean, everyone, it just provides time and energy to make this event work, because it's not just attending the race or buying a t-shirt. It is the cleaning crew that's flipping over these beds for heads and beds, and the developers that are making sure that there are new projects happening at the lake. We can house enough people. And so it really is a great thing for all of the partners in the community.
Well, for those that are looking for the who, what, where, when, and times and all that kind of stuff, what's the best way to find out all that under one spot? I know you have a guide out there as well, and then, of course, a website.
Yeah, we have a shootout guide. We've already distributed 2,000 copies in the first couple of weeks. So we ran out. The new ones are coming back in. We print 10,000 copies. So those will be out. They're out right now, Hy-Vee and lots of places around the lake. And then the website is lottoshootout.com. So we're trying to redirect. It was LakeOfTheOzarks.shootout.com. We still have that, but the two S's, Ozarks and Shootout, cause problems. So lottoshootout.com, LOTO shootout.com.
There you go. Executive Director of the Shootout here at the Lake of the Ozarks, Leah Martin. Leah, thank you for joining us today and sharing all the valuable insights to this massive event coming to the Lake of the Ozarks. We hope it's a safe one and a lot of fun. And I know all the charities really appreciate all the efforts this year. So have fun, enjoy it, and don't work too hard. Sunscreen, stay out of the sun as much as you can. From where I remember the last time I worked the Shootout, it's one of the warmest days of the year. It always seems to be, or that weekend is for sure.
Yeah, I swear it's the hottest week of the year every single year. And it's going to rain every Saturday of Shootout. That's just two unavoidable things that happen. But you know what? The volunteers, the businesses, the people make it work. So we're excited to have everyone and welcome them to the lake for that week.
Leah Martin, thank you for being a part of Chamber Chat, and we look forward to finding out if you hit your goal of $1 million. We heard that, and we're going to do our part to help out. Be well, Leah. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, at this time, we are proud to shine a light on this month's podcast sponsor, Poly Lift Boat Lifts, a big supporter of the Shootout. Timing seems about perfect for this. We got Ryan Mawson joining us today from Poly Lift. We appreciate you checking in with us, my friend. Off the air, Leah Martin was telling stories about your family's involvement in the Shootout since the very beginning. It was two guys in a rowboat that were out there trying to see who could go. No, it wasn't that. It was actually a powerboat. But you guys have been involved since the very beginning. Part of it is because of your community involvement. Part of it is because boats and Polylift go together like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And we're excited to see another 25 Shootout coming up. Let's talk a little bit about Polylift's involvement. You know the history behind your grandfather and father and uncle and all being a big part of this since the beginning?
Yeah, I do. And, thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Camdenton Area Chamber of Commerce, for letting me be a part of this. Big honor here. And, Dennis telling Mark to be a part of these things a long time ago as a patrol boat. And he was out there doing things. He wasn't sure what he was doing. He thought he was just doing something, going out there to help. And so we've been in ever since the beginning. it sounds like. And I mean, it's really cool to kind of pick up that torch, especially for me, being the third generation for our company. And so me and Matt, just giving back to the community, just like our fathers have, and just like even our grandpa Dennis had since the very beginning.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Polylift. Your product is handles the Lake of the Ozarks. Before we get back into the shootout and your activities with that, let's talk a little bit about Polylift and your connection to the Lake of the Ozarks and how you make boaters' lives a little easier.
Yeah. So we love giving people a peace of mind. We've been in business for 50 years now this year, and the things we stand by the most is customer service and satisfactory with our product. And our product is something that we engineer and build, around the Lake of the Ozarks. But, also we have lifts all over the place. We have lifts all across the nation. We got lifts in Africa. We got lifts in South America. I mean, you wouldn't believe the kind of spread we had here on throughout the world, the influence we provide.
Wow, that's impressive. Ryan Mawson with the Polylift boat lifts. We're talking shootout. We're talking about boats and boat lifts and the big event coming up here in just a little bit. You guys are involved in not just the shootout at Polylift, but other events here at the Lake of the Ozarks. A big commitment to the lake area. And as somebody who's been down there for a long time, your name just seems to be associated with all the good stuff that's happening here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Talk to us a little bit about that commitment, besides the shootout, the other events that you guys are involved in.
Right. And so, we build boat lifts, and boats withstand the lake's toughest conditions. And just like water safe community needs a strong boat list, our region needs strong support systems, like the shootout, like other events, things that raise money for these local charities, because our business thrives when our community thrives. So it makes zero sense for us to be not involved. And we love giving back to the community and doing these events and sponsoring, giving our volunteer hours, and hosting even our very own poker run.
Yeah, that's an exciting event that you guys do every year. You've also got a few members of your family back to the shootout again in the Hall of Fame too. The list is long. That's pretty impressive because it's people who put in the work and put in the hours and take time out of their own day to be a part of this. So that's pretty darn impressive that you come from that lineage.
Absolutely. And I believe Mark got inducted in 2022. I think that's whenever he was in there. And so, and we've just been involved for everybody for just maybe a little more than like 3 decades, as far as the thing goes for these events. So,
well, it's an exciting time at the Lake of the Ozarks. Polylift, for those folks that are looking to get a lift for their dock, if they're looking for some replacement parts, website, location, things like that, what's the best way to get a hold of Polylift and your team?
So if you're thinking about upgrading your lift or just curious about why we're so passionate, you can go to polylift.com. You can call us 573-374-6545. We love talking about boats in our community. Better yet, come and visit our showroom. We're just off North State Highway 5. We're right there in Sunrise Beach, Missouri. And you can see our toughest lift models, and you can get a quote about anything. And we love doing custom work. And we're just ready to do what we can for you guys.
Well, the boats are getting bigger, the lake's getting rougher, and Polylift is still there for those people who enjoy boating here at the Lake of the Ozarks. To your whole family, Ryan, we appreciate what you're doing with the shootout, and thanks for keeping us safe at our boat dock and making sure that our boats stay safe as well. We appreciate you taking some time, and thanks for sponsoring Chamber Chat.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well, thanks again to Ryan Mawson for filling in for his Uncle Mark, talking all things Polylift. We appreciate the sponsorship for the podcast, and we'll give you more information about how you can sponsor the Camdenton Area Chamber of Commerce Chamber Chat too, and get involved with this and get the word out in the community about all things that are going on. We bring Casey Cloke back. She's the executive director of the Camdenton Area Chamber of Commerce. Exciting stuff with the shootout. We're really super excited, but we've got other things that are going on through the chamber. Let's talk a little bit about some of the fun stuff coming up over the next month.
Yep, you're right. Our events are, I don't want to say as fun as the shootout. They are, but they're more of the business savvy events. And so we are hard at work in getting a lot of our late summer, early fall, mid fall events on everybody's calendars. We're just firming up a lot of details, but these are kind of some teasers, if you will. So first and foremost, we invite you to join us for our third quarter Business After Business Networking Social. It's going to be held at the Lowlander Gastropub. It's one of the newer establishments, newer members of the Camdenton Chamber, located in downtown Lynn Creek. The date is still TBD, at least while we're recording, but by the time this launches, we'll have it loaded. You'll be getting those notices. You can find out more details on Facebook, but make sure you join us for that networking social. You don't have to be a chamber member to come. We just ask that you are a part of the business community here at the Lake of the Ozarks. Great networking, complimentary appetizers, cash bar, and lots of fun. So we also, talking about businesses and new members, we have several upcoming ribbon cuttings on the calendar. So again, we do a weekly e-blast. If you're not getting those weekly emails, they go out every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Encourage you to subscribe. You go to CamdentonChamber.com, purple button, top right-hand corner says sign up here. All you have to do is share your email. We won't load your inbox with all sorts of junk. Literally just a newsletter on Thursday mornings. It'll highlight those chamber activities like the social, like the ribbon cuttings, like some other items I'm going to talk about here in just a moment. But you'll be able to stay up to date on all things chamber, as well as if there's business support opportunities, maybe some workshops and webinars and things that can help support your business. We include those links in that newsletter too. And then lastly, just like the shootout, there is a lot of great community events that happen all around the lake that support so many different nonprofits, which many of them are members of our chamber. And so we like to highlight their upcoming events and fundraising initiatives. And that's also included in that newsletter. So to stay in the know, that's the best way to go. I did not mean to rhyme, but there we go. Oh, nice. I'm going to stop now. Look at that. Tagline now. No, but other events that we're working on too, in September, we're going to be rolling out a brand new program. It's going to be a professional development luncheon. We're just fine tuning our speaker. I have a few in mind and really excited, and just stay tuned on that. I think that's going to be a great event. We also, believe it or not, we're already working on our annual membership meeting and banquet that happens every November. So I will say we do have our theme tied up or finalized. It's going to be a football theme. So this will be really fun. We went from a roaring 20s to a Hawaiian to football, which football will probably be easier for a lot of folks in our membership, because many of them, I'm sure, already have a jersey or two in their closet. So no need to buy anything special for this event. And then, Leadership Camden County, that's another program I wanted to highlight. We rolled that out. Class 31 is going to be kicking off in September. By the time this podcast comes out, it might be close to the deadline. So if you've been on the fence, I encourage you. July 31st is the deadline to apply for this 9-month program. It's an incredible program. You can learn all about it if you visit CamdentonChamber.com. We have a dedicated events page just for Leadership Camden County program. There's even a great testimonial video that one of our alumni put together. Check it out. It's definitely something worthwhile to consider. Great networking. You build some amazing relationships. You learn all sorts of things about the community. Whether you're seasoned, you grew up here, or you're newer to the community, I guarantee you're going to learn all sorts of great things. And then really, let's see, I had a whole list of things. I think I've covered most of it. Again, visit our website, sign up to or subscribe to our weekly e-newsletter. I think that's the best way to go. Or also follow us on Facebook. For every event that we've got going on, we create a dedicated Facebook event page for it. So if I know as you're scrolling on your feed on Facebook, make sure you like us and follow us. That way you can stay in the know.
Very good. All right. We want to thank our sponsor for the Camdenton Area Chamber Chat, Polylift Boat Lifts, and Ryan Mawson for filling in today. Did a great job. We appreciate him, and we appreciate Polylift and all the things they do for the shootout. We also want to thank Leah Martin for joining us today to share community impact insights on the Lake of the Ozarks shootout. Big round of applause for all those volunteers and all those people that make this happen. It's a huge event. And it's done with love, and just you see these people just enjoying every minute of it. A lot of hard work, but great for the charities and great for our fire departments here at the Lake of the Ozarks too. Next month's Camdenton Area Chamber Chat podcast, we're excited to welcome the new Camdenton R3 School District Superintendent, That's Dr. Brett Thompson. Shares insights on recent administrative changes. We've got a new leadership team we'll talk about, the vision and goals for the future of the Camdenton School District. This is another fantastic edition of Chamber Chat. We appreciate you joining us. Check out CamdentonChamber.com. Right. Follow us on Facebook, like KC mentioned. Until next time, take care.